we robbed these dealers. I phoned them up saying, listen, I want a bit of this. They come, me and my pal, we done them, and then minutes later they phoned the old bill. That was all a mess, and I ended up going away. I could see the warning signs. I'm thinking, listen, this road that I'm going down, it's getting heavy. Like, it's only gonna go one way from here. My work phone's ringing. I'm getting the I'm thinking, I don't want to do this. Like, I want to do this. Give it to my pal. Said, listen, crack on, do what you're doing. He went online, looked it up. French Foreign Legion. Someone said, you'll be able to get in there. I said, alright, sweet. Booked a ticket to Paris, and within about a week I was off. And they said, listen, we need instructors to instruct Ukrainian armed forces there. Now, I knew I wasn't getting paid. All we get is room and board where we're going. They'll give us somewhere to stay, and we'll eat the same food that the soldiers are eating. So we went in, got set up, and within about 2-3 weeks, I was issued a weapon and I was on the front. We'd get slammed with everything, though, from mortars, tanks, artillery, everything you can think of for 3 days straight. Winter warfare in Ukraine is just hell. It's just hell. Your boots freeze. I'm talking like solid, like you can knock them and it's like a bit of wood. And people lose their mind. One geezer turned the gun on himself, he had enough.
Yeah.
Other people just started walking around deliriously, like just walking into another sector and getting shot. Polish Special Forces, Grom, you know, they're top tier guys. And I remember he walked up to me and my pal and he said to me, listen, you know, we're special operations in the Ukraine army now. If you want to join our team, this is what we're going to be doing. 50% of you ain't going to be coming back from none of these fights. It's what it is. Do you want to join us? I said, yeah, of course, mate. It's a bit of me. So these lot are in these woods. We need these woods clear. You know, we'll go there. We'll clear that bitch out. You know, this house needs clearing. The house is getting cleared out. This area, we need it to bring the Ukraine forces and break the line. Yeah, we'll go there. We'll break that line down. There's nothing better than getting into a gunfight. We'd go out, put in work, and then come back. My pal's sticking on Love Island. Do you know what I mean? We're cleaning our weapons. He's watching Love Island. I mean, I might have been watching a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, but.
Yes, people, welcome back to Karen TV. Thanks for tuning into the channel. Today, got another fantastic guest, someone who's got an incredible story. So today, delighted to be with Monroe Sullivan. How are we doing, my friend?
I'm sweet, mate. I'm sweet. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So Monroe's got a crazy story, like I said. He's just come back a couple of weeks ago from serving in Ukraine. And obviously, I'm sure it's going to be absolutely nuts stories from there. Yeah. But let's see how you ended up getting there in the first place. So it takes back a little bit to sort of your childhood, and sort of happy childhood. You do well at school, siblings. Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, childhood was sweet. You know, I was born in Reading. Moved out when I was about 10. We moved about all over the gaff, and ended up settling in. I ended up settling in North London. My sister, she's in North West. My brother's in Brum, so we all sort of went our separate ways. But growing up, it's cushy, you know.
Why did your family leave Reading?
There was a few deaths that happened in Reading, and you know they sort of just wanted to get out of there and sort of get away from all the memories and that. But I mean, all my family, we was always together. Me and my cousins, like I spoke about, we was all together. We grew up together. It was a decent little lifestyle.
Nice. Did you do well at school? Did you finish your school?
I'd say I didn't finish school. I was kicked out of 2, so I didn't really finish school.
Did you get GCSEs or anything?
I ended up having to go to Lewisham College to get my GCSEs because I sort of fucked about in school, so I ended up getting my GCSEs.
And so when you were in school and obviously fucking about in school, what were your aspirations? What were your dreams sort of when you were older? What did you want to be? Football, music, crime, or weren't really thinking that far in front?
What was I thinking? I was thinking All my teachers said, you either need to do sport or you need to go into a trade. That's it, like bricklayer or whatever, or be sport. I'm not really into all that sport stuff, so like, but I never really thought about doing a trade or anything. I sort of just, by that time I was out on the roads. I was doing my own thing. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't really thinking about. I wasn't really thinking about money, to be honest, at them times. I was just happy being with the boys and just being about.
Sort of fucking about.
Yeah, fucking about, as you do in your early teens.
Yeah.
You know, you cause terror on the
smoking,
on the
drinking.
street. Yeah, smoking, drinking, just the normal.
Of course. Little arrests or anything like this?
You know, when I first got nicked, it went to, I was about 17, 18, somewhere around there. And
Anything serious? What was?
no, it wasn't serious. It was, we had a little bit of work going on where we had a little earner. It sort of went south. I ended up getting nicked and I got put away. It was only a short stretch. It was about 12 months, do 6, something small like that. But that was my first bit of jail.
So what age was this? Did you say 17?
Yeah, I was about, no, it must have been 18 because I didn't go YOY. I went straight to, I can't remember the nick. My memory's bad. I'm going to tell you from now.
Yeah.
My memory is terrible. But yeah, I must have been like 18.
Did you have a hard time in there or anything?
No, it's sweet.
And did you have friends, people you knew from the outside
people
already
from
there?
the estate, people. See, Joe's small, like, what's that thing? 12 degrees of separation. This geezer knows one geezer I know, or I know this geezer that this geezer knows.
Within the criminal world, it's even more. Like they say 12 degrees in the criminal world. It's like 2, 3 degrees.
It's probably like 2 or 3, yeah. We all know each other somehow. So it was sweet. Like,
and the worst thing about going to jail is almost the fear of it's 100 times worse than actually going there. So you go there and you realise, fucking hell, this was a work. That's almost like the worst thing because obviously you come out and you can easily fall back into other ways. So when you did end up coming out at 18 or 19, what might have been, what were you up to? And whereabouts in London were you based? Sorry, at this point, was it Hackney or Angel?
No, at this point I was in Islington. I was in Archway. I think I was in Archway. I come out, and I think that's when I done the GCSEs down in Lewisham.
Fair play. So you're thinking a little bit more smart.
Yeah. Obviously probation was on me, so I had to go. So I went down there, done the GCSEs, and that's when I caught my second case. Yeah, that was when I caught my second case.
And what was that for?
Finish. We robbed these dealers, and
Did you go into a yard or anything? So what?
No. We just pulled them on the road. I phoned them up saying, listen, I want a bit of this. They come, me and my pal, we done them, and then minutes later they phoned the old bill, which is surprising. I was thinking, listen, it's on top because we're out in the sticks right now, so I think it's on top.
So where were you in country in that?
I was in Reading.
Reading, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Tapping up there, man.
Yeah, I was in Reading. So me and my pal, we went Reading, and we thought, okay, it's gonna get on top. He's gonna call his pals or whatever. You know, we need to be a bit careful how we get out of here. Next thing, blue lights, we get nicked, and
So did you get caught with the food as well?
Yeah. The grub, the
money, whatever, phones.
the weapons, the phones, everything. And the crazy thing is, they tried doing me for the dealer's phone, thinking that I'm doing a thing up there. And
my friend from Reading had this last year.
Yeah, I couldn't
trying to rob a
explain.
dealer, trying to had their phone, got the chase, same thing.
It's nuts. So that was all a mess, and I ended up going away. I can't remember how long I got. I think I got like 40 months or something like that. Do 20. So yeah.
And obviously, again, fairly easy times. You ended up in there.
It's sweet.
And were you sort of gang affiliated when you were out?
No, I wouldn't say. Like, I knew people, but I wasn't really the sort of geezer that.
Big prominent gang member where it's going to be a problem for you. Because I've seen people from London come to prison and had gang problems straight away. They get jumped every time in the workplace, you know what I mean?
I'm sweet. I keep my circle small. Even when I was younger, I still roll with certain fellas, and it was never a gang thing. It was, okay, we're in this area. This is our thing. We never had a name or nothing. It was just like, you're used lot.
It's easy to label the gang thing, innit? And this name, it's not a gang thing. It's just a load of people congregating. We're all in a similar sort of thing.
Yeah, we're
just doing
exactly. So that's really what it was. But I never really. The only time I got into ACK is when, you're sweet with someone, they get into ag with someone, and it's sort of like, okay, listen, and rightly so. Listen, if he's got a problem, listen, we're both going at it. Do you know what I mean? So that's really what it was. But it was never no gang thing or nothing for me.
Yeah, so you've ended up going away for the second time then. And when you were away, were you doing any courses or anything like this when you were away? Did you have any... You're quite young still, so did you have any sort of positive aspirations? You're thinking anything positive in the future now at this point, or not? Head sort of all over the place still?
Nah, I think at this point I was just thinking about how to be a smart criminal, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? That's...
Unfortunately, I can relate.
Yeah,
in the past, not now, but
yeah.
And so you've ended up coming out then, jumped straight back into crime initially.
Yeah.
So what age is this now? About 20-ish or something like this?
20, 21, 22, somewhere around there.
And so when you come, we selling drugs, still looking to rob drugs, it's a bit of everything.
I was more into just selling them, just getting them out
sure.
there. Yeah.
And obviously we don't want to go into specifics. Was it weed sort of thing or the harder sort of stuff? Or?
No, it was the heavy stuff. It was the heavier stuff. But yeah, we'd go all about, you know.
So you're going out of town and that?
Yeah, we'd stay in London. We'd have one in London, and then we'd go out to Exeter, up to other areas. You know, we was just sort of plotted up everywhere. Really.
Were you successful? Did you make good money?
Yeah, we had a good dough.
Able to stack dough and that? Not.
Yeah,
or just maintaining a lifestyle.
Yeah, just maintaining a lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Stacking weren't really. No. It's never been my thing. I'm honest with you. I'm rubbish with it.
When you're in that sort of world as well, it's easy come, easy go. You never know. You're living for the day, innit? You don't really think of tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it. And in the back of my head, I'm always thinking, listen, if I get nicked now, like, it sounds a bit nuts, but if I sit in jail now, at least I can think to myself, wow, well, at least I've done this, at least I've done that. Do you know what I mean? But it didn't really help when I went to jail, so yeah.
Of course. And so when you come out from the second sentence, did you have a good run or anything like this? Like,
I'd say, yeah, it was decent. I'd say maybe like 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years. And then it started getting a bit like, I could see the warning signs. I'm thinking, listen, this road that I'm going down, it's getting heavy. Like, it's only going to go one way from here. Do you know what I mean? So that's when the old French Front Legion thing comes into it.
Yes, fucking hell. Like, this is a complete
like
U-turn in life.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm sure it's similar for you where I'm from and my friends in my pit. Like, no one was thinking about going into the army or anything like this. So, like, how the fuck did it come around? Where did the idea come around? And how would you go about it? So, where did the first idea of this come around? Like, a possibility?
It come about when I was younger. So, my parents, they was watching a like a documentary on this Christian soldier. But he went to war. You've probably seen the film. This is before the film come out. The film Hacksaw Ridge. Yeah. So the geezer that's in that, Desmond Doss, they watched the documentary on him years ago. I remember watching it and seeing, and this was like the first documentary where I saw like real warfare. Like, I'm seeing geezers getting burnt alive, with bodies all over the gaff. And I'm hearing how they're talking about war, and I'm thinking, that's a bit of me. Do you know what I mean? I think I could go out there and do something like that. Add this on to, I've always been 9/11, that happened years ago, but as I've grown up, I've sort of had a lot of respect for the firefighters, all these people that are putting work for what happened there. So I thought to myself, you know what? I think I'm the sort of guy that likes to protect people that can't protect themselves. Do you know what I mean? So this has always been in the back of my mind. I wanted to be a firefighter as well.
Yeah, that's sick. That's all wicked stuff.
Yeah. And so that fizzled out because obviously then I went on the roads. And then from there, I had another pal. He wanted to join the Royal Marines. So we went to some open day. They was like, yeah, you're sweet, but you got a tattoo on your neck. So
is that a no-no, is it?
Yeah, that's a no-no. Funny enough now, you're allowed.
Okay, but at that time there, if you had a tattoo or fact, you weren't in the
army,
you weren't allowed.
You weren't allowed. And the joke is, if I would have applied then, I would have got through with my criminal convictions because they would have been spent because it was a certain amount of time, with a certain age. It goes rapid.
Yeah. So you weren't thinking about getting it like lasered off, or things weren't really around at them time there.
Nah, it weren't really. I just didn't really think about that.
Yeah.
Like, they did say to do it, but I thought, I wish I did, to be honest with you. But yeah.
Everything for a reason, isn't it? So.
Yeah. So all that happened now, and then obviously we speak about what I was getting up to after that.
So they literally told you on the opening date, like when you went down there to have a look, you no chance with that one.
Yeah, no chance at all. But then someone told me the army might let you. So I was like, alright, cool. So I'm in Conch now, doing my thing.
Where?
Up the M1,
Yeah,
up by there. And I remember, I don't know how I got into it. I just started watching more films, but like more based on like parachute guys, all this sort of stuff. And I remember thinking, you know what, I don't mind jumping out of planes and all. That's a bit of me. So I applied to the British Army to join the parachute regiment.
Yeah.
And started training for it. It's crazy because I'll have things in my bag, but yeah, I'm training, running, doing like press ups, all this crazy stuff, and then I'll stop to do what I'm doing.
Fair play to
and
you,
I'll
though.
put the
But
bag
at least
on
you're
again.
thinking of something positive, though.
Yeah. So
same time, which most people don't. It's hard to.
Yeah, exactly. So I was doing all that. I was training. They invited me to the pre-assessment center or whatever to basically, see if I'm fit enough, got a mental capacity, all that sort of bollocks. So I've gone there. They said, yeah, sweet. We'll give you a B plus pass for the parachute regiment. I said, yeah, that's good. But why are you talking to me like there's something you got to say? This is what I'm thinking in my head,
Okay.
right? And he says it's conditional because you still got unspent crimes on your thing. So I'm thinking, right, well, I was fuming. I can't lie to you, I was fuming.
But they still offered you the thing, though, still?
Yeah, they said come back in 5 years.
In 5 years? Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Conditional 5 years. You thought a conditional right now, you're on thin ice, but you're going to get in. But that's a long thing.
This is what I'm saying.
5 years is a lifetime.
Yeah.
Someone tell you that.
But I've already got in my head, this is what I'm going to do. So I come out, I was fuming, my work phone's ringing, I'm getting here, I'm thinking, I don't want to do this, I want to do this. So I packed it all away, give it to my pal, said, listen, crack on, do what you're doing. And basically went online, looked it up, French Foreign Legion. Someone said, you'll be able to get in there. I said, all right, sweet. Looked it up, booked a ticket to Paris, and within about a week I was off.
That's fucking mad.
Yeah, I was gone, yeah.
So you're off, like where? What, to training or? Like,
yeah, you go to one of the...
So the process gone, you've gone over to Paris, you've had an interview, like a couple of interviews, I'm sure.
No, well, it's like an interview. Basically, you go to this place, you knock the door, they open it up, they say, what are you doing here? You tell them that I want to join the French Foreign Legion. They say, all right, come in. They search your bag, take out things that you're not allowed, take you up to the office, tell you to do 10 pull-ups on this bar. You do the 10 I think it might be 8 or 10 pull-ups. If you can't do it, see you later. If you can do it, yeah, sweet. Come into the office.
And did you look into how much money you're going to be getting paid or anything like this?
No, I didn't care about none of that.
You just wanted to
change
your life, do something, and
I just wanted to get stuck in.
Fucking mad.
Yeah.
And so you've gone there, and obviously they spoke English because obviously you can't talk French, I'm guessing.
Yeah, bitch.
And did they explain to you like what was going to happen or what the process was going to be, or did you have any expectations of where you were going to go, or did they fill these in for you? And what year was this, and how old are you then?
Cool. This was 2015.
Yeah, because I see 2016 pictures and that. So
yes. So it must have been 15.
15, and you were how old at that point? 8 years ago.
8 years ago, I would have been... Oh, man, my maths is bad. I'm 31 now.
Okay, so 24, 23.
Yeah.
And so, like, when you're telling your friends and that you're going to go and do this,
yeah.
What's their reaction to it and that? Not much.
I can't really remember,
No.
I mean, a few of them was pride. A few of them was, do your thing and that. But no, I don't know. I don't
and
think
so
I really
like
told
where
people.
you're thinking of like, so like where you said you've seen the obviously parachuting and this sort of stuff. Like obviously, cool excitement. But did you think about right? I'm gonna have to go out and shoot people and kill people and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Did you think about the like So say obviously you end up going for a legion, but you know the British Army, say you've got in there and they're going to fight like certain wars which are in countries that aren't any threat to us, and we're going there try and take over. And then did you think about that? You weren't really fussed, you just want to see some action or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't think about these things at that time.
I don't really think about that.
And obviously you weren't thinking about, right, if I go and do this sort of stuff, that bit of trauma that might be in there after, you just...
No, I didn't think that. Obviously I hear about it.
Yeah, I don't think many people do, because you wouldn't...
No, you don't really... You just don't think it's going to be you. Or you think... Everyone sort of has their limit, and you just think naturally as a man, my limit's going to be way up there. You know, for some people it ain't. It's one gunfight and they're done.
Yeah, of course. I can imagine.
Yeah, no, I never really thought about that.
And so, like I said, you've gone to Paris. You said obviously a week later you're gone, but where were you gone to, and like what to do what and training?
So yeah,
training period to start with.
Yeah, so the process is like a pre-assessment, sort of like what I've done in the British Army. Pre-assessment. Then from there, you go down to a place called Castelnaudary, I think. And that's when you start boot camp, basically. Do you know what I mean? They single you off, they put you in groups, you go through the tests, they interview you. They do something called the Gestapo interview, which I heard a lot about. It sounds crazy, right? Yeah. But they sort of just interrogate you about everything. They want to know whether you just want to kill... Whether you they just want to know what your ulterior motives are for joining. You know, a few people didn't get in just from that interview. Obviously, I got through. They put you in a sort of platoon. They shave your head and give you your kit, and then it's off to a place called the Farm.
The Farm. And where's that in France then? Somewhere?
Yeah, somewhere in southern France.
Some deep training camp thing.
Yeah.
And so, of all the other people, there was a lots of different nationalities there and that had gone there, or
And
so did you get like soldiers that have been thrown out of the armies in their actual country that just want to still where they can't?
Yeah. We had Brits, Irish, Australian, South African, American, Canadian, African. Don't know what countries in Africa, but a few. A lot from Madagascar. I don't know why, but South America.
And so by this, does it pay well initially in the French Foreign Legion?
€1,200 a month.
And then obviously you get everything for you and that.
Yeah.
And what about like life insurance? Did you get any of that or anything like this?
They probably do, but it's all in French. I didn't really...
Weren't fun.
I just signed the paper and just... Yeah.
And so talk to me about when you're down in the camp then. What did you say it's called? The
Farm.
The Farm.
Yeah.
And so how long did that process last there? And sort of how rigorous were you doing? Jumping up, playing parachutes? Were you doing shooting? Were you learning...
Yeah, it's a lot of...
Take apart arm, put them back together and...
it's all of that, yeah. 4 weeks, just heavy fitness.
Grenades
runs,
and stuff like
that. Grenades, everything. Weapons, stripping them down, naming the parts, what they do. A lot of live fire, setting up ambushes, patrols, small team recce's, like reconnaissance.
Yeah. What about that sniper stuff or anything like that? Was that a bit more elite
down
the line?
That's
down the line. Once
you
you get in, you're going to be trained up on different sort of sectors.
Yeah.
And obviously all the shooting and the guns and the arms, that's exciting. I'm sure that was
it's good.
Fun.
Yeah, it's good. You get paid to shoot stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But what about like the physical stuff? How tough was that? Did you find it real challenging, like the runs or did you sort of breeze through that as well?
I've always been into fitness, so for me it was hard, but like not to the point where you think, I got to drop this out. Like it was never that hard. But
and what about like the authoritarian thing? Like obviously I'm not good with people telling me, let alone shouting at me. I've seen in the army, is it similar when you've got people shouting commands? Is it similar sort of thing, like officers, squaddies, and there's the respect thing and the hierarchy and...
There is, in the French Foreign Legion, there is, but they've toned it down a lot now. Probably the same in the British Army and that. When I was in the French Foreign Legion, you know, they'll slap you, kick you, do you know what I mean? They'll punish you physically. Similar to what we've seen. So like if your bed not made and everything ain't done properly, you come out, stood up punishments. Yeah, they'll do that. You'll stand outside all night, do you know what I mean? But it's not really like that now.
But obviously you sort of quite enjoyed the whole process of it.
Yeah, if they didn't do that, you'd think...
Of course, you want to go through some sort of...
Yeah, you want to go through the heavy stuff.
Before you're going out somewhere.
Yeah.
And so, so how long did you say you were there for?
I was there for 2 years.
2 years, fucking hell. So it is actually a proper training process there.
No, the farm. I was there for 4 weeks. 4 weeks, yeah, month.
4 weeks? Fucking hell, it's only 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then from where are you going?
From there you graduate, you get sent to your regiment or Yeah, your regiment basically.
And so, look, for people who don't know, and obviously I'm not any sort of expert, the French Foreign Legion, are they a private army that sort of help out around the world, or are they just a French army?
No, they're French army.
Yeah. So how did the French army let like all sorts of nationality? Did the English army do that as well?
I
Or
think.
was it just easier to get in the French one, less requirements, or?
I don't really know the history behind why they did it
And
or the reason or whatever. I'm sure it's probably the same sort of reason that we got the Gurkhas. Do you know
Of
what I mean?
course. Well, did take on it.
Yeah, they probably just needed more guys, and that was the way to do it, probably.
And because it is one of the most famous ones, obviously, the world, like, obviously I've heard of it for years back. And so, like I said, after 4 weeks then, where are you getting sent then?
We get sent to our regiment.
Where's that? Like,
so there's a few regiments. You got tank regiment, you got the parachute regiment.
Oh, so you've been put into a specific thing.
Yeah,
What did you go into?
So obviously I applied for the parachute regiment.
Get into it?
Nope.
No.
Because they sort of reserve those spots for guys that are really good at French. Like proper good at French. And
because they're going into like deep
territory. Yeah, they just want like the really good guys. Do you know what I mean? So they chose them. Yeah, sweet, whatever. I went to the desert. Trying to think of it in English. The 13th Half Brigade. So it's desert warfare. That's what we specialise in. Which, to be fair, was perfect. Do you know what I mean? If we ever need to go back to the Middle East or whatever, at least we're going to be one of the first to go. Of
course. And so, like I said, you've gone into this desert sort of regiment. And was there anything active going on there, or is this close to the farm, or was this like in a different area of France?
No, we was based out in Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, fucking hell.
Yeah.
So that's where you permanently based this business?
Yeah. So we got sent out there, but just as we got sent out there, they were saying they was moving us back to France.
Yeah.
So we sort of went out there, we done our desert warfare training, desert survival training.
Got to do the training.
Yeah, exactly. We've done all that. Packed up, moved back to the south of France near Montpellier, and that's where we was, or where I was for the next year, 18 months.
Yeah, so like I said, you've gone out to Abu Dhabi for a short period of time, and like I'd never expected that. What Abu Dhabi need the French?
It's just a base. Yeah. It's just a base that they can easily
allowed to have, and they can go to other bits from there. They've got good relationships with Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, that's all it is, really.
Okay, so you come back to just outside or Montpellier. And is it just all sort of training and that, but just more specific stuff?
Yeah.
And so it's been 4 weeks. You've got a bit of time in Abu Dhabi. Back there, and you're how long in this bit, the training bit there?
Training. There's no like set sort of. We're in that, so it's more. This is your specialty.
So what are you doing on like a day or week to week, month to month? Then is it just sharpening your skills, learning different courses, learning different bits,
different courses?
And was there any sort of did you think the chance you might be sent somewhere?
At that moment, the French army was in Mali a lot.
So you were hoping to get sent there?
Yeah. We do a lot of patrols around capital cities in France as well. You get paid more, but it's not deployment, is it?
And so in Mali and that, what's going on there? They're fighting the Mali government or that?
I didn't deploy with them. I left a year before they went to Mali.
Okay, so did you see any action with the...
Not with the French Foreign Legion, no.
Did you just manage to get yourself trained up?
Trained up.
And you felt good and comfortable with everything? You felt like after... So how long was it in the French Foreign Legion then? You've done the 4 weeks in the farm, you've done the bit of time in Abu Dhabi, then you've done it, a year or so, did you say? Yeah. And you feel like you're trained up soldier now, capable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so what was the plan then? Did you not think... Obviously, were you just desperate to go, and obviously where you weren't getting sent anywhere, you're thinking...
That's literally what it was. That's literally what it is. And
so when you were leaving and that, were you not thinking of a way that you could get into another like Foreign Legion in order to try and see some action or something like this? Because it must be like... I know it's mad and that, but to obviously a civilian start thinking, oh, and they want to go and shoot someone or shoot something or do something. But when you've been training for a year and a half, then that's what you're wanting to do, go and kill some bad guys or go and see some action or something.
Yeah, so...
Was everyone frustrated like crazy?
Yeah, everyone was. A lot of the English guys as well, because...
They wanted action.
Yeah, and the thing is, we come from half-decent countries.
And the English are fighting everyone, so there's always, I think, action going on with the English.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, a lot of us just leave after a while. We just think, like, our homes are better than here. You know, a lot of the people that go there, like Ukrainians, funnily enough, Russians, Eastern European countries, where their country's just shit.
Yeah.
So
it's a good option for them. Like
they get the passport, they can move to Europe.
So they get the passport after they go and stay for a few years and get a French passport.
Yeah.
Massive
Street, it's a
appeal.
no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but for us, we don't need a passport.
No.
We don't need none of this stuff. So if we ain't gonna go out and fight, we're gone. So
you left, come back to London, was it?
Yeah, my pal, he put me onto a private military contracting course,
Okay.
which decent. They pay you enough and that. So I went to do the course. I didn't end up doing it. Done my SIA license, the door work instead, and ended up just doing doors in Notting Hill and Brixton and that.
And so you did that for a good period of time. Obviously, while you're back in that, obviously it's a million miles away, especially in Notting Hill and stuff. Well, Brixton might be a bit more action, but it's a million miles away from combat or frontline combat. And so, like, when you're back in that and you're around all your old friends and that I'm sure are still up to mischief because most carry on.
Yeah.
Like, how hard was the temptation then to like stay away, or did you end up falling back into sort of the madness and that? When you
I ended up falling back into it. Wales. I just fell back into it. It's
like foolishness in the street sort of mentality. But if I can introduce you to some of the people I'm friends with and that, they'd be like gassed because they're like, right, you know how to do this and that. But they're like people looking at you as like in a different capability, obviously, after you come back from there as well, which is like in a bad way, really.
Yeah, there was.
Because like fucking hell, obviously, if you're going to want someone shot, you're going to want someone shot by a soldier. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the thing was I wouldn't say a lot of geezers, but people around me or people that I knew, they would always come to me about this problem. Like, one of them will say, "Oh, I'm getting taxed by this guy. You know, what should I do?" And my reply is, "You gotta go all the way, mate. Do you know what I mean? You need to. I ain't saying iron the geezer out, but you know, you need to go and put in some serious work, mate. So
you must have had a more militant mindset, obviously, when you come back. This is the point.
Yeah. So everyone's looking at me thinking, this geezer's crazy. Like, you can't be doing this in this sort of world.
That's what you're fucking trained to do now.
Yeah. So if you want to solve a problem, I'm telling you, this is how to solve it.
Of course.
So this is sort of what was going on, and I was doing my own thing again with little bits of work here and there, and doing the door work, and then boom, I get nicked again.
Came on top. And this was in country, or was this back in?
This was. I got nicked about 3 times. Once. All the times was out of London. Yeah. All the time was out of London. Yeah.
And was you moving sloppily, or you dealing with cats, obviously, or you stick out like down these ways with you and your friends or whatever? You weren't like being too subtle with it.
Do you know what it is? You know that old copper saying that they say, you know, we got to be lucky every day. They only got to be lucky once.
And if you're doing it for mate, you got a couple of years each time.
Yeah, like it just come on top. Do you know what I mean? We're in a different area. We don't know these people. Do you know what I mean? So
reminded straight away, or did you go?
No, I got nicked the first time. They let me out. So obviously I just moved to a different manor. Done the same thing. Got nicked. Moved to a different manor. And that time I got nicked. I got nicked 4 times. I got nicked again. Oh. They let me go. I went to a new area. They nicked me again and they said, "Nah, that's enough. That's enough. He's on bail for all these other things and he's getting caught doing the same thing." So I got remanded,
Remanded. Yeah. And then obviously court case come around, you end up getting how long?
I had obviously like I said, I had about 4 different cases.
They get sort of put together on that?
Yeah, they sort of did. Basically, they'd get finished with one sentence, so they say, okay, you get 3 years for this, and then maybe like 6 months later, they'll say, you're getting another 3 years for this. But how did they do it?
But they're all similar offences, so they'll probably do it consecutively. Did they do it for you? And then they're doing the biggest one you end up serving? Yeah, so like you said, the biggest one, that's what I was serving. All the others sort of got just chucked in the mix. What was the biggest one then?
The biggest one was the conspiracy to supply.
How long you get?
I got 3 and a bit, nearly 4.
Not too bad for fucking if it's hard food still.
Yeah.
And so, where were you?
What next?
Yeah, what next?
Woodhill.
Yeah,
Woodhill. That's where I was for about a year.
And like before, it was easy enough in and out, and.
It was easy.
When you were in there, though, was it a case of obviously previously the previous 2 stints, you were obviously a bad mindset and all this sort of stuff, weren't thinking enough. But obviously, when you're in there this time, you've obviously gone and done the training before and all this. Did you think, fuck this is dead, I'm going to try and actually go and do something after legit? Like,
not straight away. It took about a year to get into it.
it's hard to think straight when you're in that sort of mindset as well.
Nah, because you think, oh, I'm gonna bust this. I'm gonna get off with this.
And you're surrounded by better criminals with that siege in your head about this.
Yes. I'm half thinking, I'm gonna come out and just do this thing crazy. But then it got deeper into it, and being in Woodhill sort of helped, because they changed it from what it was. It was like a local nick, and they changed it to sort of a B cat lifers jail. I think that's how it went. Yeah, and obviously they still had the A cat on the other side. But the geezers I was wrapped round, they were proper fellas. Do you know what I mean? They're all 40 odds. They've been around this game their whole life. They know what they're doing. There we go, serving crazy numbers. One of my best pal, I won't say his name, but he's doing a 32 rep right now. But he's the one who sort of put it in my mind. Listen, forget about this.
It's dead.
Yeah, you need to start thinking about a bigger game.
There's no happy endings in that life. I ain't met no successful ones yet. Even the ones you think they're successful still comes and backbite them in the arse.
It still comes on top. Yeah, of course. You can have 20 years of sweet living, but you'll be banged up for the rest of it.
Of course.
What's the point?
Of course. And so you started thinking again about, this ain't for me. I don't want to be doing this sort of stuff. So it was a good thing for you. Similar to me meeting was like that. Who wants to do 30 reckon?
Yeah.
And so were you thinking about, maybe I need to try and use my skills, try and get in some way, and thinking about avenue 2 to use that? French Foreign Legion again, or no?
Nah. I was thinking about doing my own security. So starting my own firm, the firm I've got now. Of
course.
Doing everything.
Elite Global Response. We'll come on to that. And so, had you spoken to someone, done some research, saw how it could be done, or?
Nah, you know what? My pal, he's got a firm. He was who I worked for when I first got into security for the doors. So I've always known, listen, you come out of the military, this is the route for you. So 100%. I've always known, listen, close protection, maritime security, executive protection, all of that sort of stuff. We can still do what we've done before and get paid better. So I thought, well, fuck it. And the whole thing about starting my own firm was, I got a criminal record, I thought, listen, no one's going to hire me. It's just going to be on top for me. So I might as well start my own firm, and I'll find work for the firm, and I'll make it happen. So that's where it all come from, really.
So that's what you did. Fair play to you. Yeah. So what year was this then that you started your thing?
I started this in last year. I'd say
last year, but
I'd say I sprouted it in about 2020, 2019. I wrote it all down.
And so was this Joe? You're writing all these plans?
Yeah, I had a big old folder with
fair play to you.
A to-do list of what needs to happen.
Fair play to you, because you see so many people who write these fucking. I did myself. Massive. Bruv, I don't know where the folder is, and I don't.
Yeah. I can tell you where mine is right now.
Exactly, you're one of the different ones, aren't you?
Yeah.
So, fair play. You've come out with your plan, stuck to it. Mm-hmm. So you come out and. How would you go about this straight away then when you come out of then, and if you got a website done or whatever?
Yeah, got the website done.
And so what are you doing? Do you have to get yourself all the equipment and all this sort of stuff like?
Yeah, you got. I mean, when you're doing close protection in London, it's not really much equipment. You need radio.
So did you get any close protection work straight away when you started the thing?
Not straight away. Not straight away. After Ukraine, though, yeah.
Yeah, obviously once you've been there. So then, let's go into. So, how did you end up going to Ukraine? How would you go about this and that, like?
So I was getting released from jail maybe 2 weeks before it started. So I'm looking at this app and I'm thinking. For some reason, I thought in my head, I knew I was going. I was like, listen, I'm going. Fuck this. I'm there. Do you know what I mean? And I thought, for some reason, I'm going to be the only British guy there. There's going to be work everywhere. I'm going to be able to make contacts. I'm going to be able to talk to people. Why not?
So how would you go about it then? You come out, you've got this business plan, you started your own company, obviously registered the company, right. And then, how'd you go to Ukraine?
So when I was in the Nick, my plan was to just go to where the I don't know what it was, the Ukraine embassy. Find someone who's Ukrainian and tell them, listen, mate.
Well, in London, go to the London
Yeah, I
UK
was just
embassy
gonna
and
go.
say, look, I'm happy to go and fight for you. And
No, forget that. I was just looking for an interpreter. I was just going to go by myself.
Yeah.
I was going to look for someone who speaks Ukrainian. Do you care about your motherland? Let's go. Yeah, me and you, we're going to flop there now, and we're going to go put in some work, you know. And that plan obviously fizzled out. I thought that's not going to work. Somehow, I spoke to someone who was with the Georgian National Legion. I don't know whether you've heard of them. They're a bunch of Georgians. Yeah. They put in a bit of work. And they said, listen, we need instructors to instruct Ukrainian armed forces, their security services. I forgot what it's called.
I bet they've got a lot of civilians obviously fighting in Ukraine that need obviously people like yourself or train people to obviously. But how would you get in touch with this Georgian? Was this via the internet and that?
Yeah, it's by internet. Messaged him, he spoke to me, asked me my experience. I said, yeah, this, that, and the other. And yeah, he invited me over. So
how did you get to Georgia to start with, and then you went to Ukraine? You just flew straight to Ukraine, or you drive there, or
so
did you fly to one of the border countries and then drive into?
No, I went to Poland, and then from Poland, it's a mess. So I got to Poland, missed my coach to Ukraine. Ended up taking like a £300 cab to the border. He dropped me off at the border and said, yeah, the coach will be here. The coach weren't there. So I'm standing on the border with all this gear, thinking, how am I supposed to get through here? I had to end up going into an hotel, booking another coach, went from Poland to Ukraine.
Yeah. And so who are you going to be working with? For the Georgian front or for the just Ukrainian army?
So it would have been, so the Ukrainian army sort of subcontracted it out to the Georgians. I was working for the Georgians.
And did you look into how much you're going to be getting paid or anything like this before you went out there?
Nah, I knew I wasn't getting paid.
You weren't getting paid?
Nah.
You didn't get paid?
Nah, nothing.
Fucking hell.
All we get is room and board where we're going. They'll give us somewhere to stay, and we'll eat the same food that the soldiers are eating.
And what about obviously it's going to be further on. You know about trophies of war? I've seen the Americans that you're allowed to basically whatever you could take whatever you want and send it back. There's planes going back with these trophies, anything that could be stolen or pillaged, you know? Can you do that?
You can do it, but I don't know.
I mean, you weren't really watching that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we sent a few Wagner vests, whatever body armour they was wearing when they got slotted. We sent them over, but I never really thought about that. Anything I got,
of course, there's more important things. But yeah, I know, but send back for yourself. I mean, this is for you. Do you know?
Yeah, true. I mean, I saved up before I come.
That's what they were allowed to do. You know, the Americans. You know, if they go to these other places, the trophies for them, for themselves. You know what they find, they just get it signed off by. They send it back. That's for you. They've got planes going back with all the shit they're stealing to try and give them thinking extra motivation to be out there doing it, which is a standard. You're not getting paid.
No, that's it.
And so, like I said, you've ended up going to the border. You're waiting there for a little bit, but how was it? Was there a training period with the Ukrainian army and the Georgian?
No, I got stuck right in. We was.
Stuck straight in, what? Frontline sort of stuff?
Nah. So when I first got there, we'd just go round to the west of the country and we'd go to different units. If they're getting cycled out to the front, let's say in the next month, we'll go there and we'll sort of do we'll find out what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then we'll just train them on that. So if they're going to what we call trench sitting, basically you sit in a trench and you just make sure no one comes, basically.
Crazy. And what about the language barrier? Sorry to interject. So did you have obviously there's Ukrainians who could speak English that could translate?
Yeah, we had a Turk with us. He'll be with us the whole time and he'll just interpret whatever we're doing.
And how did you get on with the Ukrainians? Your training and stuff like this? Did you like the people? Good people?
Yeah, they love us.
And of course they do. They're fucking you there to protect their country and help them, innit?
Yeah, they loved it. We loved them.
So like I said, you're training people up and that, you're going through all the processes and that, and did you ever get the chance to go in combat, or were you just training people there the whole time, or you wouldn't have to see any?
No, I trained for 3 months. Yeah, 3 months of it I trained. And then after the 3 months I thought, it's enough for me. I can't be doing this over and over again. So I phoned one of my pals. He was getting into some heavy fights, and I phoned him. I said, "Listen, mate."
Heavy fights, and what was he in? And who was he with?
He was with a group called the Kapaska Sich.
Which
they're just like a there's like a battalion in the Ukrainian armed forces, but they accept foreigners.
Okay.
So he phoned me. I phoned him. He said, "Yeah, listen, mate, come down. I'm in England for Christmas right now. Come down, and I'll get you set up." So we went in, got set up, and within about 2-3 weeks, I was issued a weapon, and I was on the front.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Mm.
And so, did you see much action in that when you're there?
Yeah. I was with this team with this unit for about a month. And a lot of it was trench sitting. So we'd infill to a trench and we'd just plot up there and just sort of just recce the place, do reconnaissance, sort of write down any movements we see. And sort of just hold the line. You're basically just holding the line, really. We'd get slammed with everything, from mortars, tanks, artillery, everything you can think of for 3 days straight.
Oh my God.
Getting slammed.
Did you have to retreat or you managed to hold your line?
No, we can't retreat. We have to stay there. They'll slam us, but the whole point is they want to slam us, soften the area up, and then they'll send the infantry in.
So they're sending the bombs in first, and then it's the tanks going in before the sub.
Yeah, so...
And so, what's that like then?
Oh, it's hell. It's hell. It is bad.
So how are you, fighting against tanks? Is it with the rockets and stuff like this?
Yes.
Because they're all distance away?
Yeah, so we'd have an N-law. We had an N-law, and we had... What else do we have? We had a booth.
N-law? What's an N-law?
N-law, say new generation... what is it? Can't remember what it stands for.
Is it a rocket?
Yeah, it's a rocket.
I've seen the thing you're
basically.
shooting. What's that?
Oh, that's an RPG.
RPG, that's
the N-law, that can...
Closer...
Yeah, that can disable a
tank?
tank. Yeah, it can go through the metal.
Is it fucking hell?
Yeah, so we had a few of them. We'd see the tank pop up on the horizon. I'd run to go get the N-law.
And how far can that shoot from,
N-law is... I'm pretty sure somewhere up to 800 metres.
Fucking hell.
And it locks on as well.
Is it fucking hell?
Yeah,
so that's the next question. How hard is it to shoot something 800 metres away? What, fucking heat lights?
Mm-hmm. So it's done by metal, magnetic. You can fire a top attack, so it will fly over it and then detonate down.
Oh my God.
Obviously the top part is where the softest on the armour, so it'll do that, or you can fire it direct. But regardless, if it's there, we're going to hunt it. Do you know what I mean? We can't have this thing firing at us all day. Because what it'd do is there's a ridge line, there would be two of them. They'd pop up, one would slam us, another would slam us, they'd slam us, they'd pop smoke, and then they would sort of just retreat back. And they'd do that every day.
Fucking
so
hell.
we thought, listen, we're not having this, we're going to go down there and fucking...
blow them up, do whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that's crazy. It's these are long distance sort of attacks and that though. And then at a certain point was did you ever have the hand where you're shooting other people who are shooting at you?
Yeah. So we had one. So basically, we had this OP, and we were just told that there's these. I can't remember what they were, Siberian or. I can't remember what unit they were. They're nutters, right?
Siberians are the most sick. I've read books on Siberians.
Yeah,
Siberians is one of the roughest, toughest regions geographically in the whole, and they come out of there the most militant people. And roughest people, whether the criminals in the world.
Yeah. So these are the geezers we had in RAO. So we got told this.
This were you fighting against these people, yeah?
Yeah. So we got told this. It was quiet for the first 2 days. The third day, it's night time, and so we're on the thermals. We're looking at, and our team leader, he sort of radios over. He says, "Listen, I've got movement." And we think, well, where we are and where they are is probably, I'd say, about 200 or 300 meters, and it's sort of like
fucking hell. So is that close?
Yeah.
That close.
Yeah. Which is weird. Some nights you can hear them
No, I thought you'd be a mile away.
No. We're close. We're real
crazy,
close. Yeah. So we're sitting there at night, and we hear this call come in because our observation was supposed to be literally about this big. Normally we'll just get a sector like this, you just watch here. We got all this, so we sort of got to pop our heads up, do like a 180, and there's a little avenue that comes round where there's no long grass, no nothing, and that's normally where they'll fight. So we hear that there's 2 or 3 guys walking through this area. They're not shooting us, they're not doing nothing. So you think, wow, so what are they doing? Why are they out there doing this, doing that? Long story short, we ironed one of the geezers out.
Well, they're doing some kamikazes type shit. Is that going to blow themselves up or whatever? What the fuck
we got no clue. We got no clue. No clue. This is why we thought we need to drop them.
Of course.
We don't know what these
get
geezers
next
are.
year.
Yeah, so we dropped one of them.
Did the other one turn away or run away or what?
No, another one was injured and the other ran away. So we can still see in the thermals, right? So we're seeing in the thermals, this geezer, and we're not hearing him scream, which is, a lot of times you can tell I can tell basically. I don't know whether other people use the same method, but professionals, you don't hear them. Even when they get hit, you're not going to hear them. This geezer, I can't hear him. Something, these are professionals, okay. So these other 2 have gone off, and they're going to call the team they're with, and they're going to come and
so what,
get their pal.
They train not to make noise, like obvious. That goes without saying.
Yeah,
depending you're able to control that. So.
Yeah, depending on their job title. If they're doing a nighttime recce, which is probably what they're doing, obviously they're not going to scream out and let themselves be identified. So they're going to, sit there, crawl away, do whatever. So the geezer's still alive anyway. So we think, okay, his powers are going to come for him. It's going to get on top. Long story short, the geezer dies. No one comes for him. And that was the last rotation I'd done with the Sitch, and then I moved to a different team.
And so, like, was it you shot the matey or were able to shoot the matey? Like, when did you first? Obviously, when you're shooting tanks stuff like this, it's quite like it feels like obviously more of a distant thing. Cause you know what I mean? When you if you shoot someone and they fall over, and then you've got that imprinted in your mind. Whereas if you've got tank, like.
Yeah, tank is. Yeah, you're right.
I know it's tanks like six, but you.
Yeah.
It don't feel like it's personal. Like
the funny thing is, when it's a tank and they're so far away, it feels that much more personal. Because all you're thinking is there's a geezer in his little turret or whatever, aiming. He don't even know who he's aiming at. Like, I'm here, and he's just letting them rip, man. You're just thinking, mate, like. It's crazy, like, in your head you're thinking, this geezer's trying to kill me.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, wow, man, this is heavy. Like, this geezer wants me dead.
Yeah, no doubt it's as heavy as it can. But, like, in terms of, like, you can't see the eyes. And
it's different. All you can see is just this tank.
I was thinking to myself, when you're shooting into the woods and people are falling and stuff like this, you're not going to, like, imprint it. The ones that imprint are, like, when you, bang, someone's falling out the window, bang. Like,
yeah.
They're like, so I watched the guy, the Vietnam veteran, he was talking about, so many did in like just general fire, but he couldn't put them on himself because he didn't know if it's this guy next door, that guy next door.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah.
And then but he said he knew he'd done 93 of them when he was out there. And it's like,
that's a lot.
Yeah, no, this guy was
fucking
savage. Like,
that's a lot,
he
mate.
came back and be a savage as well.
I'm about to say, yeah.
But and so like I said, you've gone in that bit there. So when you've been moved, did you get to move to a different? Why did you get moved?
So we had enough with trench sitting, basically. It's winter time, winter warfare in Ukraine. It's just hell. It's just hell. Your boots freeze. I'm talking like solid. Like, you can knock them and it's like a bit of wood. And so lots of people getting real ill and that out there and that? People are losing their minds.
Yeah. All those old things that people
still happening. Still happening. People lose their mind. One geezer turned a gun on himself. He had enough.
Yeah.
Other people just started walking around deliriously, like... just walking into another sector and getting shot by is a blue on blue. Like, it was our guys that done him, but obviously he's supposed to radio through. This guy's just, I don't know what he was doing. He had enough and just walked. And like, obviously I've always, in war times and that, I've heard they ply the soldiers with drugs and stuff like this in order to like give them that kamikaze mindset. All the drugs have come from like whether it's MDMA with speeds and all this. They've all been developed by scientists for soldiers and that. Were they giving you like drugs and that? Not you person. Were they giving this Ukrainians? Nah.
So none of that they weren't.
Nah, the most you'll get is if you've been injured, the most you'll get is ketamine.
Ketamine.
So they give you ketamine, but they do that here. Like, it's.
Of course, that's only when you're injured. That.
Yeah.
But what about like, were people drinking lots on the front line and that, like in order to try and?
Yeah, there was that.
Down in vodka and all.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. none of us was into none of that. But I do know geezers that were getting stuck into that. Yeah.
And so when you got moved from the trenches, where did you go from there?
So we left. We broke contract and we went to the east of the country, a place called. Obviously, we was already in the east, but this was like up in the east. And we joined we heard this team, they wanted guys, so we went to this team, we met the commander, a guy by the name of Ghost, legend, absolute legend.
Ukrainian, obviously.
He was Polish.
Polish, yeah.
Polish Special Forces, Grom, they're top tier guys. And I remember he walked up to me and my pal and he said to me, listen, we're special operations in the Ukraine army now. If you want to join our team, this is what we're going to be doing. 50% of you ain't going to be coming back from none of these fights. Is what it is. Do you want to join us? I said, yeah, of course, mate. It's a bit of me. So joined them, got issued our weapons, and literally that night we was on the front. That night.
And some of the weapons, obviously, I've fucking nuts. Some of these guns you use, like there was that. I see that gun, that massive fucking one as well, like M42 or something like that.
Oh yeah, the German,
mate,
the M42.
Some serious.
Yeah.
Bullets and that. Some of these bullets, like 50 caliber, what were they? Like
huge
pointed ones.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell.
Yeah. So the good thing about this team that I joined, was a lot of our gear was Western. Okay. So we had a lot of Western weapons, a lot of Western gear.
So with some of the Ukrainian force we use some fucking old shit.
Yeah, they used to use AKs and all that sort of stuff. We got the Gucci gear, we got the nice gear. So.
And you went in and did some real.
We put in work. Yeah, put some serious work. And
obviously, I can imagine like the camaraderie of it. Obviously, getting close to these people that you're doing this must be insane, isn't it? You must.
Especially with this team, because we're all foreigners. So a lot of us are British, American, French, Polish, Italian. And there's like 12 to 16 of us. We're together 24/7. 24/7. We eat together. Sometimes we shit together. We kill together. We die together. We do everything together, And so it goes from you being in Ukraine to help Ukraine to all of a sudden you don't give a shit about the politics. It's all bollocks to you. As long as you got the guy, that's all I care about. That is all I care about.
And so when matey said to you that obviously half you ain't going to be coming back, did you lose comrades with this team on the?
Yeah, we lost a few. Yeah,
you did. Yeah,
we lost a few.
And so, like, how difficult is that then when you're obviously, like you just said, you're close as anything, close in your family, like that you live in this sort of. Do your family ever lived? So when people aren't coming back,
it's heavy.
And what? Sometimes they get left out. Obviously,
no, we never leave them.
Never
leave them. Never.
Play.
We'll rather die trying to get you than leave you out there. Yeah, it's hard because you go out to a mission in a car. Let's say 5 of you drive out there. You come back. There's like 2 seats missing. You think, mate, this is shit. You'll come back, get into your bed, and the geezer's opposite you. He's not in his bed no more. Do you know what I mean?
And so obviously, it might be an insensitive question, but like, what's it like when you're out there, like shooting people there and then killing people and stuff like this? Obviously, they're trying to kill you, so I'm sure there's no moral like thing of it. What's the feeling like? And did you ever have like I said, we spoke about the people at the night and that they might have fallen, but there was like you're shooting people, they're falling over, they're close enough to see them falling over and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, you're close enough to see what you're shooting at. Yeah. Most of the missions I went on with this team, like I said, we was a special purpose team. So
you're going out and doing stuff each time.
A lot of work we're doing is either nighttime reconnaissance, which leads on to an assault,
of course,
or it's just straight up assaults.
Yeah, it's the complete opposite of the trench stuff where you're
complete opposite, like a complete opposite. Do you know what I mean? They'll say, listen, these lot are in these woods. We need these woods clear. We'll go there. We'll clear that bitch out. This house needs clearing. The house is getting cleared out. This area, we need it to bring the Ukraine forces and break the line. Yeah, we'll go there. We'll break that line down. So that was a lot of the work we was doing.
And did you enjoy the more action part, like rather than sitting on a trench, like in the winter.
Loved it.
Must be fucking insane, isn't it?
There's nothing better than getting into a gunfight.
So imagine the adrenaline must be like out of this planet.
Sky high, man. It is sky high. It is. You can't get it nowhere else.
And so, like, I was thinking about, like, obviously on the times where hopefully you didn't lose anyone, say you've gone out there, done some madness and that, come back and that. Like, you can't sleep, surely, like, you can sleep when you get back. Were you taking sleeping tablets? But surely, or you're just so tired, obviously, after the release of it, 2 hours later, you just pass out after you eat.
Yeah, literally that. Literally that.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. And so, like, you know, this guy where you're working with this, like, sort of special ops teams, they teach you up to the next level. Obviously, you've got, like, the Polish guy running it, Ghost, and that's fucking...
Yeah, he taught us real well. So we'd go out running 10k every other day with our gear on.
Fucking hell.
We'd be doing tactical. So if we had a mission...
And I was going to say, like, you look like Black Rambo, like, and the stuff, like, Modern Rambo and the Instagram. So I'm going to put the link in. People, check out the Instagram and check out the link and follow him because it's fucking madness. It end up putting the pictures to it. But I'm going to put I'll put a load of pictures over the interview when we talk about certain stuff, regardless. But yeah, fucking madness. And like, so how long did you? And obviously another insensitive one. Please don't answer it if it's like obviously when I watched that Vietnamese one and he's saying, look, he might have killed fucking loads of this sort of stuff, whatever he didn't know about these, but the ones he was aware of, like 93 people. Like, don't give me a number or anything like this, or even, are you aware how many people, like...
No.
What, because it was so many, or you're not trying to count, or you're not trying to, like...
It's hard to... Unless we got a drone in the sky. Because when we go out on missions, we'll have a drone in the sky to sort of keep an eye on what's going on the battlefield.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts
Let us know what's going on. And so when we got the drone up, you can half see who drops who.
So that's crazy. It must be like watching a fucking football match replay.
It literally is.
And so you're getting back like after, and you were sitting.
Yeah, we all sit there and watch it.
Like, that must be fucking nuts. And did you manage to get some of the footage or anything like that?
Yeah, I got footage. Yeah, I got footage.
I'll send it to you. Mad.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. So them ones, if you don't have a drone, it's almost impossible. Do you know what I mean? We're all in a line. And we're all just spraying up wherever it is. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, there's a few that you know you've done, but the majority of them, you'll shoot down that direction. You'll push up. You'll see them all on the ground, and you know.
And obviously, like when you're there, you're in the front line. These people are trying to kill you, so you're trying to kill them. That's what your aim is, to be there. And it's like celebration when you've obviously done well. Like, that's what you're there for, isn't it? It's like a striker, like footballer, that scores a hat trick. You come back, oh yeah, fucking hell, you done well. Like,
yeah, there's all of that. Like, you know, when someone gets their first kill,
they're
happy. Like,
that must be a mad thing then. So what was your first kill then? The tank, one of these tank things at distance or whatever?
No,
you don't have to say it. Like, you don't feel like you need to.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the tank. It would have been in the... I couldn't even tell you. That's the crazy thing. I don't even know what my first
in the trenches though, like one of these night reconnaissance ones.
No. This was when I was in the second team.
Yep.
It would have either been the first gunfight we got into or the second.
And that must be fucking, like you said. A lot of people, they go into one gunfight and then they end up leaving.
Yeah.
But obviously, you did well in it and you were able to cope with it mentally.
Yeah, we lost someone on my first gunfight, so it was shit, but.
And did you have it like, obviously when I'm watching the Army Fields, where you're both there and you've got someone, and there's someone literally, did you see people like fall, like near you in that?
Yeah, you can see them. You can see them.
No, some of your comrades and that, like you've seen them like fall next to you, like
Yeah.
And like, you know, you've obviously got the fucking helmets on and all that sort of stuff. But they can't protect against 50 caliber, same as these fucking.
No, they don't protect about.
Is it even worth working, or is it just for the fucking?
No, off my team, they don't wear helmets.
Yeah, that's
just
what I
wear
was gonna
baseball caps and that's it. I just wear it just cause.
Of course.
Just cause, but
And you know, like a team like that where it's like heavy action and that, you know, like where you say it's rotate. Would you only be on a team like that for a short period? You can't stay on a team like that for like surely you have to like.
No, as long as you want to stay in Ukraine, you can stay with that team.
So you stayed with that team for quite a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For the majority of my time in.
So you loved the action and that.
Yeah.
Fucking mad.
Yeah.
And so fucking, have you got a like problem with Russians, or were you just a professional soldier? Or did you develop obviously a problem because you're fighting, trying to kill each other? So you or was it a case of look, they're professional, so we're literally we're here to do our job, and it's more the powers that be that you've got issue with? Well, you don't really watch none of those things. The more, like I said, once you're in this team and you're there.
Once you have dropped some of my guys, fuck you, all of you.
Yeah, fucking hell. And so, how long did you stay with that team then?
5 or 6 months.
Yeah.
Yes, 6 months. 5.
And how often would you be seeing action? Weekly or every other week? Or
every other day.
Fucking hell.
Every other day, yeah.
So you must have just done a lot when you're out there then, with a team like this and that.
Yeah, we've done a lot.
And so, like, you know, on the days where you're not, did you have any like switch off time? Did you guys were you watching movies or anything like this, or was it all like?
Yeah, so
that might sound like a stupid idea when you're out killing people one day. You're not like looking to relax the next day, but you must have to switch off somehow.
Yeah, we do. We, 1 minute. It's funny, we was laughing about it, but the last rotation we just done, we'd go out, put in work, and then come back. My pal's sticking on Love Island. Do you know what I mean? We're cleaning our weapons. He's watching Love Island. I mean, I might have been watching a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But
mate, you're fine when you're there. Guilty pleasure in that.
Yeah. We're just thinking, mate, this is kind of surreal. Like, we've been doing this, but yeah, most of the time we'll come back off a mission and we'll eat and watch whatever's on our laptops, or we'll chill out.
So you were like loving it out there, and so you've ended up doing 5-6 months with this team, and then you come back from there then? Like, why did you leave the team then? Did you need a break at that point there? You can't stay, did you need a break?
It's a break.
Wanted to come back to see your family?
Yeah, and life doesn't really...
And so what about your family? Sorry, so your mum and dad still with us? Or?
Yeah.
And so what were their feelings about you being out there? Were they fucking hating it and wanting you back and worried for you? Or after you've been in years of trouble and in jail and stuff like this, that at least you're actually doing something legit, even if it is like that, and you're helping people and you're fighting for the
weaker. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought, at least I'm doing something proper with my life. But, apparently killing bad guys ain't really what my mum wants me to do. So she's still got the ump a bit, but she still, semi-supports me, and,
At least you've gone and made something of yourself, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, done something at least honourable.
Yeah, now, like, fully. To take my hat off to you in that. And so you've decided to come out of there then, and so you come out of there. Yeah, I've come out. And so, like I said, it's a combination of things. You need a break. You've been with this special, seeing so much action and that. You need to see your loved ones at the same time. You need to a bit of a break. And so, when was this then? Like,
this was about 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
And we do to come out of Ukraine and then get a flight back or something from there.
Yeah.
And to talk to me about like, I've got PTSD, but I'm sure it absolutely pale in significance. It might not even cut in for you yet because you're just so fresh out of it. But like, I had from just living a sort of criminal life for years, and I had like heightened anxiety. Do you know what I mean? When I'm just living, but I'm sure that pales in significance with what you were. Like I said, the adrenaline and the anxiety when you're on the front line, you literally be killed like that, I'm sure, but your body can't switch off like that straight away. So I'm sure you come out of there and sort of 2 weeks later, I'm sure your body's still like in war mode and got that heightened anxiety ready for...
Yeah, I'd say you just don't really feel protected no more. Obviously, I ain't got my pistol, I ain't got my rifle.
I've got that as a question, so you must feel naked without that, don't you?
It's bad. I ain't got my team around me, it's just me. Like, you see how I rocked up here now, I'm by myself, do you know what I mean? And it's...
Yeah, because it's like, it's like, I think there's not enough like aftercare that gets done for all these soldiers and stuff like this. You see a lot of them end up home or on drink and drugs and stuff like this. But I think it's so unrealistic to have someone on the front line do what they're doing, especially in a team like what you were doing, and then to come back and be a normal person. No,
it's near enough impossible.
And to like, can't go for red lights and speed limits and fucking road all these crazy like things that just... Yeah. And so, like... It's impossible for like unless you carry on living in that war zone to come back to like this normal living and not have some severe trauma from something like this. Good or bad, not to say that it was obviously something that you chose. Would you like try and because I've heard of it, soldiers having to decompress when they come out of war zones. And so would you like consider chatting to like anyone in order to try and like cancel it, or you don't feel the need to at this point, or psychologists or anything like that?
I mean, if the need arises, then maybe I'm just taking it a day as a time for now.
Sometimes stuff like this can be like, can work in the same sort of way when you sort of when you talk about stuff, it does take the burden off yourself and the problems away. So hopefully that will like help you the same way.
Yeah.
So like you said, you've come back the last 2 weeks, and it's not like, obviously if you moved to the countryside and it was literally a little village in the middle of nowhere and it's real quiet, it might be like you just sit there and sort of half come used to it. But like coming back to London when everything's fast and busy and people pumping into you as you're walking down the thing, like,
yes,
talk to me about the adjustment or how it's been for you like these last couple of weeks then. And
one of the weirdest things was I was sat down inside and it was about 12 at night, 1 in the morning. And obviously there's a curfew in Ukraine. Oh man, all these cars driving around, doors getting shut, this, that and the other. I start thinking, mate, what's going on here? I think, something's not right. Do you know what I mean? I'm thinking that for about an hour. It took me an hour to realise there's no curfew here. People can go about their business after 11. I thought to myself, man, you need to turn your brain on a bit. But
it's an adjustment rather than turning it on, isn't it? Your brain's on, but it's focused on other things right now.
Yeah.
And like, what about, obviously I'm sure you're jumpy as fuck, do you know what I mean? If you're like bangs and stuff like this, for you it's been fucking something serious. Your brain subconsciously is going to go back into that.
Yeah. I'll just try and, to be honest with y'all, I just
try and deal with it as best.
Yeah, I just spend I don't spend a lot of time alone, but I sort of just do my own thing. Do you know what I mean? I try just to not be in the thick of it.
Of course, because obviously when you come back and you've been doing what you're doing, is it hard to just chill your friends on the block or whatever it might be? You ain't going to be looking to do the same bullshit that you were doing years ago. You obviously changed, grown man now.
Yeah. I've spoke to a few of the boys, but
definitely ain't looking to fall back in any fucking. That's never going to happen.
Yeah, forget all that. Nah.
And so, what are your goals and like aspirations? Are you looking to go back now to a certain bit, or are you looking to just concentrate on the private work and that for looking after rich, famous, and certain people, or go to certain places, maybe protect like these oil companies? What, like, you know, I've seen they do that in certain danger zones and that, protecting the businessmen and all that. Like, what's your goal for you now? And that, like, obviously after coming out, and you're going to have a. And it's mad. So you didn't earn any money when you were out there for the?
Yeah. So when I joined the special purpose team, we was getting paid £2,803 a day. Not a day, over a month. Yeah, a month.
I was going to say, fucking hell, there'd be everyone be out there.
Yeah. So it was decent. I mean,
that's all right. You didn't spend a penny or nothing, and you didn't manage to, like, I wouldn't say steal, like they say, the war trophy thing. You never managed to, like, send some bits back or whatever.
No, I brought loads of bits back.
Like what? Just progress and stuff.
Nah, I brought Russian magazines for AKs. I took a knife off one dead geezer.
Yeah, sick.
I'd
like to see that still. Obviously, like I said, there's a picture. We'll put that up.
Yeah. I got a few bits. Airport security took most of it off me. Yeah.
And you can't say, look, I've been out there for these are like memories or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like, obviously you've been out there, you're used to having a gun on you now and all this sort of stuff. You said you feel naked and that, but obviously that's going to pass in due time. Like, you're going to get used to that. You know, like, the gun laws in this country, not just because you've been, it's not, in general, do you think that people should be allowed to have guns in this country? You think they should?
Of course. Every man and woman should have the right to defend themselves. So, do you know what I mean? The way I see it is, if old Bill can have weapons and guns, and they're using it to protect us, why can't we protect ourselves? Why we have to leave it into your hands to protect ourselves? We're all men.
Of course.
We're all women in our own rights. I've got an ass. I'm going to protect it. Simple as that. So, I think everyone should. Who wants to be armed should.
Of course. Especially if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing, you've done the
classes. You're not
and
somebody
that.
just going to jail and all this sort of stuff. You're not going to do some criminality.
Yeah, why not?
And so, like you said, what is the goal now for you, like yourself and the company? Like, what you're going to be doing in the next few months now? You look at just, is there going to be a decompression period for you where you don't try and put any pressure on yourself the next month or so, and you just try and, or are you straight away trying to think about where you're going to be going next, or thinking about trying to get some business lined up, or what is?
Yeah. Right now I'm doing close protection, like I said.
And so, like I said before, like obviously it was hard to get the work before you've been, but now obviously.
Oh no, yeah, people want you now.
And you don't need to tell us who specifically. What sort of people would it be? Like rich Arabs or something
Like
here, or just rich,
just high net
rich
worth
people?
families. Yeah, high net worth people. They're over here for whatever reason, and.
And so you managed to have you just lined some of that work up? You haven't done any work the last couple of weeks since you've been back, have you, though?
No.
So you're going to line. That's what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, that's
in the future.
Yeah, that's lined up literally.
And so you're not looking to go back to. You don't want to see any more action of being any.
Oh no, I do.
You do.
I do. Yeah. I'm not done with that.
Oh,
but
so what are you going to do then? Try and set the company up where you've got these sort of work, and then have certain people who might be doing this while you're out
yeah,
there.
that'd
be a sick thing to do.
Yeah,
like,
that's
so
the
even
plan.
when you're out there, you can have people earning and.
Yeah, because let's have it right. Ukraine's not the only war zone. You know.
Unfortunately, yeah, there's
war zones all over
as
this world. Literally dozens. So, and the sad thing is, there's money in war right now, and there always has been.
But that's it. Well, there's more money in war than anything else, isn't there? In the arms and and what's gained in the wars and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And so, like, would you look to go back with the Georgian? Or you're quite open about anything as such now.
Yeah. I'm open with. Now I've got the company. It's more about just going out there.
So you could sort of get the contract yourself, your own company, and then take a load of ex-soldiers out there or something like this.
Yeah.
And what about like you'd never? Obviously, there's no need now. You wouldn't ever consider going into British Army Marines or anything like this. Like you said, would it not make you easier for you to get in now? Obviously, after having the season.
Nah, and to be honest with you,
no need at this point.
There's no need. I've been there. I've done it now. There's no way I'm going to join and have some sergeant or whatever tell me that this is how you shoot or this is how you whatever.
But something that's got like gives you that much of an adrenaline buzz must be like the most addictive thing in the world at the same time. And like, are you addicted to the action? Would you say now? And you like, did you sit and think about like, I need to get back out, like fucking hell, this London, all this bullshit, and fucking you come back here 3 days later, you're sick of it, or?
I wouldn't say, I don't know.
Dream's probably the wrong word, but you want to get back out there and see more action.
Yeah, like, I'm still fit, I'm still able, so why not?
And like I said, you don't get yourself caught up in the moral issue of what this country's attacking this for this reason. You're a professional soldier, and that's what you do. You're a professional soldier. The other people decide why the war's happening and what happens.
Yeah, as long as I'm on the right side, let's have it right. If someone calls me and says, listen, I need a team to go do this in some village in Asia, obviously, if it's no good, then I'm gonna say no. Do you know what I mean? But when it comes to, like you said, whose side you on, blah blah blah. Listen, as long as I'm on the right side, I'll put in work.
And what about like these? You hear about these like ex-Marines and stuff like this, teams them going in to try and do like foreign coups, take over countries and stuff like this. Like this sounds exciting, like.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah.
And then obviously like the stand stuff like I hear ex-soldiers doing protecting like the oil companies in certain countries and stuff.
That's all of that's out there to do. Our industry is huge. It goes from looking after people at Tesco or doing security at Tesco all the way up to, like you said, getting called to back coups in foreign countries or.
So you're open to possibility. I've seen an ex-soldier and that he got contract to kill Pablo Escobar in Colombia, from Venezuela. He was, so he went over there and like whatever happened.
Yeah, these jobs float about.
And he'd be open, like obviously he's open to anything and everything.
If it's within my skill set, I'll do it.
And so, in terms of the company as well, the Elite Global Response, what requirements do people need to work for you? And that
ex-military.
Got to be ex-military.
At the moment, at one point it was, if I haven't fought with you, then you can't join. But I've sort of opened it up a bit more.
Of course, if they've been out there on a different thing.
Yeah, so ex-military combat experience is sort of it's not a death roll, but
as long as you had the training, you need to.
yeah, as long as you know what you're doing, then it's all right. And really, that's about it. As long as you can keep up with us, you're down for the work, then we're good to go.
And so, so immediately you're looking to get this company up and running over the next few months, and that. Like, what sort of time period would you be looking to go back into, or even looking into the possibilities maybe next year? Is it you're gonna have like a 6-month break or something?
We've got some work lined up. It could happen now if I want it to happen. It could happen in January.
And where is it? Back in Ukraine, Russia, or?
Nah, this is Southeast Asia.
Is it?
Yeah.
So what doing?
That I really can't even.
Is protecting some crystal meth labs in the jungle or something?
Oh no, not protection. It's something else.
Oh, actually going in there to do some fucking.
Yeah, just
And so that's going to be the next thing you do though?
That'll probably be the next thing that we do. Yeah.
A few months time, like.
A few months, maybe end of the year, next year.
And like, I'm sure there's some big monetary rewards to some of these things as well. Like, is this job going to be paying you like?
It depends where you jump into it. If you jump into something right at the beginning, like arming rebels or things like that, there's not going to be much dough in it. But it's what you're building that will sort of pave the way for funding to sort of come in. So it can vary. It can vary. But.
And so, like I said, your goals and ambition for the future was get the company up and going, and then obviously see a bit more action in a few.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, mad. All right. Well, there's been a fucking insane interview in that today. It's been completely different from most I do in that. And I take my hat off to you, like going and changing your life and that when you've been down the wrong path and that, and most people just stay ingrained in that forever and that.
Yeah,
so fair play to you. Well done.
Thanks.
Is there anyone you'd like to give shout outs to, whether it be some of the people, some of your fallen comrades you'd like to, or some of these ghosts and some of your team, anyone you'd want to mention by name specifically or just general?
Ghost team, they're still out there fighting now. They're putting in some heavy work. Obviously Ghost, Czech, Kevin.
And tell us your social media.
It's _ Mr. Sully.
And then you've got the Elite Global Response.
Elite Global Response as well. It's just Elite _Global_.
Guys, they'll be in the description box below this video, so just click on the link, add him up, follow him. Trust me, to see some madness. I'm sure there'll be some more stuff.
Yeah, there's a few bits and bobs on there
going on in the future. But yeah, like I said, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah, no worries,
and hopefully, obviously, we can do some more of these in the future.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And like I said, hopefully you just remain safe when you do see the action. Hopefully you come back safe,
Oh, that's it, yeah. Cheers, man.
So, yeah, thank you very much.
No worries, man.
Cheers, guys.